Hey everybody. Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome.
welcome. Aubrey, Brian.
Hi. It's been a while since we've seen y'all together. I still got my heart on, just for those interested. So this video will be a little different. It'll be like a kind of video for
Right,
everybody.
right. We wanted to create a video for you all and let you know that we have mutually decided to transition our relationship into a really great friendship.
Yeah. And we arrived at the decision knowing that it's the best thing. We're focused on doing what's best and doing what's right and what's most appropriate and most compassionate for everybody involved. We've been in conversation about this for a little while now, and through all of the things we've been through and the conversations that we've had, we are reaching what we know is the best choice for us at this moment in time. And we wanted to communicate it here to our community. We have a lot of shared community, Aubrey and I. We do similar work in many capacities. And we have a lot of shared friends and loved ones who love us very much and who we love very much and who have been a part of our romantic relationship for a long time. And we appreciate that and wanted to come here and share our decision here to relieve everybody of any questions or any perceptions and make sure that everything's communicated in a straightforward way.
Yeah, yeah. There's no like negative, bad feels, none of that kind of stuff. It's
Right.
just we wanted to share that because I think a lot of times whenever couples, especially like, if you love one person, you love the other person, and then you love them together as a couple, like, whoa, what happens?
Yeah.
So we wanted to give the framework of just, our experience and what we've been working through, and just that we had decided that with all of the circumstances, situations, life circumstances, and variables, that it would be the best thing for us to do right now.
Right. It's not always in these relationships that you can get every piece to fall into place the way that you want it based on where everybody is in their life. And you want to do what's best and what's right and choose from love and choose from a big picture perspective. And so we're making our decision as responsibly and lovingly as we possibly can. We are still here together. We're committed to remaining in each other's lives as the best of friends. We still maintain all of our same shared interests, and we still have the same large network of people who know us and love us. And nothing has to be different in that regard. All that love still is there. I think we've all, and the reason that we're so committed to doing it like this, I would say, we both have, and I'm sure that most of y'all have experienced what it's like when the ending of a relationship does not go well, and making that transition is not pleasant.
Right.
And a beautiful thing to note is that it doesn't have to be that way. You get to choose how you want it to go, no matter what anybody says to you or what is considered to be the norm.
Yeah.
A conscious uncoupling is not only possible, but it's honorable and it's beautiful and it's noble, and something that everybody has the power to create for themselves.
Yeah, it's much more constructive versus destructive, and doesn't necessarily mean that it takes away all of the, pain that might be involved. Like, it's still not an easy thing, but it's much more beneficial. It's much more healthy. It's life-bringing, life-giving versus a lot of times. I mean, I know for me personally, I've been in breakups in the past where I was the one doling out the hatred
Yeah.
or the anger or
Yeah.
the frustration or whatnot. And then other times I was on the receiving end of that, and that neither ends of that actually feel good or
Right.
put you in a good place to actually move forward in a good way with your life.
Yeah.
So,
And you want to, when you care about people and you care about yourself, you want to make choices that not only are in the best interest, but you want to nurture and uphold the dignity and the well-being of people going forward. You want to put everybody in a position where everybody is set up to win and prosper, and everybody can be healthy and whole and complete, and they don't have to go forward in their life being shattered and broken and decimated by a bad ending of something. Nobody deserves that, and we can do the best that we can. You love someone, you care for them, so that love and care just kind of changes forms. In a breakup, it doesn't really go anywhere. You just shift the way that you communicate, but the love has to be what supersedes everything else. You want to nurture everybody's well-being. I emphasize that a lot. You do the best that you can to relieve your community of the impulse to take sides, or the impulse to ostracize or shun somebody out of their life, or treat them in a negative way. All those things, I experienced a lot of poor treatment a few years ago at the end of a relationship. So on my side, I'm well aware of what it feels like to be treated that way, like you're less than a person, and you're not deserving of just basic dignity and respect. So nobody, deserves that, and no one should be denied the opportunity to be whole and be complete and be set up to where they can go forward and prosper in their relationships and their endeavors without all the pain and trauma from a past relationship.
Yeah.
And you want to behave in ways that are generative of love and that generate the future that you say you want for yourself. You can carry bitterness and victimization and blame, and you can be so stuck on what somebody else has done or what they did. And people behave badly, people do bad things, they do, but the responsibility that you get to take is, okay, if this is what I created in my life, what do I need to do going forward to make sure it never happens again? How can I show up a little bit differently or show up a little bit better? Where did I not show up? Was I too passive?
Yeah.
Was I too whatever? So the responsibility that everybody's taken on themselves to not blame or lash out, it doesn't excuse things that have happened that were not appropriate, but at the end of the day, the choice belongs to you, how you relate to your experiences and how you choose to show up and behave, and what you do with what has happened to you.
Yeah. We have that creative power of anything that comes forward to us in our lives, like any situation, any circumstance. We have that creative power to respond. I think of it sometimes as like a tennis match. The ball's coming at you, and it depends on how you hit it if it's going to wind up in the other side of the court and you're still in the game. You can get real angry and just like knock it way out of the court, and then have to chase after it for 3 blocks and spend a lot of energy doing that. Or you can just boop right back over the net to the other person,
Right.
in a good way.
Yeah.
So we always have those decisions, and really coming to a place where we understand that we have that power, and to kind of tap into it and say, how do I do this well? I think would be a very important self-introspection to embrace.
Yeah. Even just the last few days between us, you feel sadness, you feel disappointment, but you can also nurture a lot of healing to an extent together. There's a lot of things that you can work through as you start to navigate the transition. There's conversations that you can have, and reflecting on the sweetness of the connection and the beauty of what you've created with somebody. You'll find that very often that it in your reflection of the relationship, those things, it's worth it. It's worth the experience, and you'll find that you probably have more good to say than bad to say.
Yeah.
Not
only about the relationship, but the person as well.
Yeah.
In general. And to look back on those things, it's like, I've been around, friends who maybe a couple of years ago had bad breakups, and you hear about all the bad stuff, but you have to think back, like, okay, at some point this relationship formed upon a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah.
And what is that balance? You know, what were the things that were good that attracted you to them, and what were, you know, what are the things that you love about that person, and the times that you shared together that you love about them, and honor those. Because in reality, it likely wasn't all bad.
Yeah, it very likely was not.
Don't blanket statement it.
Yeah, we have to start redefining the value of relationships and take the definition of their value beyond just how long did it last, or, you know, if it
Yeah.
didn't end up in marriage happily ever after, then somehow it was a failure. That's just not true. It's not true, and we value growth and development in our society just right along with people who value security and stability, and a lot of times those things can be at odds. You know, people are growing and changing and evolving every moment of every day, constantly, you know, and being with each other through those transitions and maintaining interest in each other's lives, even if you can't stay together right now, blessing somebody as they leave your life in that regard, or as you transition out of a romantic relationship, and you can send a blessing to a person and really wish and truly authentically wish them well, is a really extraordinary thing to do, you know. And
Very courageous.
yeah, and there's something that happens when you just give up the right to have a certain conversation. You don't allow yourself to speak negatively of somebody who has benefited your life in so many ways. If you really sit and think about it, you know, that nastiness and hatred is really is quite a bond if you think about it. That's a negative bond and attachment. When you actively hate somebody, you're still very much attached to them in many ways.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's an emotional reaction. Like, it's just you're reacting versus responding.
Yeah.
So like you're reacting, and I get it. Feel all of the feelings, but like pass it through some brain cells before bringing it out to the world, you know, in a way that can be damaging.
Yeah, yeah. And leaving on this note, as we wrap up, whether you're in a relationship or not, or whether you're navigating a breakup or not, it's important, and something that we're going to be working on in the coming weeks and months, like, is just returning to that sweet solitude and nurturing yourself. You should be maintaining that and nurturing it while you're in connection as well, like finding your time and your self-care. But particularly when you're returning to that solitude, and when you're returning to that life as a single person, and you're making that transition, you know, we are stressing the importance of really coming back to your self-care in a major way, in a big way.
Recentering yourself. Getting to know you as yourself again, because I mean, anytime that you are in close quarters with another person or friends or anything else, like, we bump up off of each other, right? We become like each other.
Yeah.
And
We bond. Yeah.
when you're coming back to a single status, like just coming back to yourself and saying, okay, how do I nurture myself? Versus flying into another relationship.
One thing to think about is, like, how has the relationship expanded your capacity to love and be loved? Like, look at the ways that you loved, like, that maybe you didn't know you were capable of until you got there. Like, look at how you showed up, and then look at the love that you opened yourself up to receiving from somebody else. You know, you really helped them and encouraged them and helped them in their growth. You know, so if growth is the value, you know, there are not that many things more valuable than relationships in that regard. Nothing will push you really as far and challenge your growth and development like a relationship can. Not just romantic, but that's just our example. But reflecting on all of the growth that you have done and all the ways that you loved and have been loved, you'll find that's enough to have you reflect on it with a smile on your face and not carrying bitterness and resentment and anger towards somebody or towards yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we love all of our friends.
Yes.
We're good. It's healthy over here. And we want to encourage you all to just understand that you can still interact with us both and be our friend just like you have been, and continue to support us the way that you have. And just to relieve everybody of any questions or misunderstandings, we wanted to put this out for everybody.
We love you.
We love you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.